aspects of this whole vintage car movement is preserving our heritage. And of course, there comes a time as well when, for the older members of this fraternity, you're wondering, well, who's actually going to continue that heritage? And I have with me Harry Heynes here and his grandson John. And I would just like to tell you, you've got a very special relationship regarding your Model A Ford. Tell us a bit how John got involved with the movement, Harry.
Thanks, Stuart. John has always been interested since a small boy in motor cars. He loves motor cars and racing and what have you, but he's also got a love for these old things. And of course, ever since he was born, I've been busy with old cars. So he's always got involved and interested, and now that he's a working man, he drives this Model A and he drives my Model T, and that's why he's here. His granny, that's now my wife Diane, was actually supposed to come, but she knew how keen he was, so she stood back so that he could come.
That's fantastic. And tell me, does he use spanners and that? Does he get involved in mechanical
Yes,
things?
he's an engineer by trade.
Fantastic.
So he works on the cars and he knows all about the things and he finds the faults, and yeah, no, he does well.
John, what do you find about all the old mechanical systems? Being an engineer, how interesting is it to discover the heritage of all this technology?
I think the thing I find most interesting about it is the passion that they put into it. You know, back then everything was new, so they really had to think about it and think about how the system works. And these days you've always got a reference to use. Back then they didn't have that. So every part is something of that person in it.
A lot of different systems were involved at this time, weren't they? Of doing the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, every company, every person was coming out with something different for how to approach the problem. So, yeah, you got a lot more innovation back then than you do today. Today you see systems being built on a principle that was developed back then. I think we see new technology in different areas, but in terms of the combustion motor, that was when development was really skyrocketing.
And all too soon, the tour drew to a close, and so too our 4 days of fun in the sun.
It's like a family, the guys, because many of us are actually second and third generation